Greetings, this is the Monkey and the Fairy King. Say hello, Fairy King.
Hello.
Tonight we are discussing the classic and wonderful film, one of my personal favorites, which is my favorite, uh, well, we'll get into the details later, but it's my favorite of the Wind, and we'll get into that later, but it's, oh, yeah, I know. Um, well, when was the last time you watched Twister, Fairy King?
The last time I seen Twister was last year.
What did you think of it? When I watched it, I actually thought it still held up pretty well. Like, this came out before Miracle. This came out before Coach Carter. It really felt like if someone would have told me this was a true story, I would have believed it. I mean, when you think about it, this could have actually happened, and they just wanted to remain anonymous. I mean, uh, yes, the director had a different thing he said about it, but oh no. So it still could be true because it wasn't the director that had something different to say about it. It was what Bill Paxton said about it, but yeah, it's definitely my favorite, but I'll get into the reasons later. But it's a particular favorite, I'll say that. But so what did you think about it when you when you watched it most recently, and how different is your opinion of it now versus when you first watched it?
My opinion of it now is the same as when I first watched it. I think it is still a great movie.
Yeah. Um. Well, how do you feel that they're making a Twister sequel, even though the Bill Paxton is dead?
A sequel to Twister 2?
No, the Twister. They're ignoring Twister 2.
Hmm. To be honest, I don't know.
A lot of the fans are not happy.
This is the first time I'm hearing about a sequel.
It's called Twisters. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I wasn't too happy when I heard it either. Yeah. But didn't they also do a Bambi 2 that turned out really bad?
Bambi 2 was uh all right, but yeah, they could have done a whole lot more for it.
Um, so, um, uh, did you, uh, um, uh, how would you rate it on on a, on a love story? I actually have an opinion of it, and I'll say it later on. But what's your opinion of it as a action adventure / love story? Or do you just see it as a adventure or a complicated love story?
I would say it would be considered a complicated love story.
Hmm. I actually think it's a fatal love story
True.
because it started out with her losing the first man she loved, and then her father from the storm, and then she ended up losing the other man that she loved, Bill, and it just then she ends up. I don't know. It's. I think it is a complicated love story too, but it's more about loss, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's well, I think it goes hand in hand as being a action one and a love story too. Hmm. Well, how is your how is your opinion of the gore that they used in it?
I honestly did not see any gore in Twister.
There was that scene where they're in the drive-through and the guy gets his head cut open from that hubcap. Remember?
He got hit in the head, but it was only an external cut. It did not slice completely through.
Then what would you say about when Aunt May got hurt and they went into her house after the twister hit?
I wouldn't call that gore. I would say that um I would say that you could consider that just a uh, I've lost my train of thought.
Don't forget to buy a ticket. Well, what did you think about the music? I actually liked the score pretty well.
Yes, I liked the music. Um, as far as for Aunt May, uh, um, I
I
wouldn't
think it
call
was
that.
Meg. I think it was Meg because Aunt May is. Wait, oh, I don't know. Maybe it was May. I don't know.
No, it was
Hmm.
Meg.
Yeah,
I
Aunt
would say,
May was the other. Aunt May was the other Twister film. Wizard of Oz. um,
Aunt Meg's injuries were they were not severe enough to be considered gory.
oh no, the Wizard of Oz was Annie M. So I don't know. I guess well, that's a different movie. But do you
Yeah,
think it did stand for Meg? What?
her aunt is Aunt Meg.
Oh, okay. Right, but I was talking about the other one. Yeah, I'm trying to get it clear of what the M stand for in anti-M because we talked about the Wizard of Oz, that aunt. She was
Dorothy's
anti-M. Yeah.
Dorothy's aunt's real name was Emily. They called her
Oh,
Emily for
okay.
short.
Hmm. I was always surprised when they didn't make a sequel to that original film. I was surprised.
Yeah, it is
But,
not as good as the first one.
well, to be fair, the sequel was called The Great and Powerful Oz. So it featured on him, which technically made it a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. Because it showed the great and powerful wizard when he was
A carnival.
yeah, yeah. Great
That
cast,
one,
though.
yes. That one, yes, I will say um the prequel is a great movie.
I will say I actually saw it on the big screen and I loved it, especially towards the end when you see him up in the air, like projected on the audio was crystal clear. It was crisp, and it just was you literally have your jaw on the ground because you're seeing it, the great and powerful Oz, and you hear James Franco's or whatever Franco's name doing those huge vocals of the great and powerful Oz, and especially when he just the whole time he's doing that, it was amazing to watch on the big screen and to hear it in the theater. It was just beautiful. And I mean, it really was a powerful moment. I mean, you really saw it. It reminded you, and even you even thought in that moment it was better than the original, or or at least just as good. But but yeah, I'd say my favorite part of that film would be towards the ending. So probably the last 10 minutes was my favorite part of the film. I'd say, what do you think? Does it lead it to? Does it leave it to where it's like part of a dream? Do you think? Like I don't know. Some of the things the characters said, it did seem like they were trying to make it seem like. I always thought that, sadly, because of what the monkey said, that only if he would have. I mean, he would have had to know what the other guy wanted all along. So I don't know. I kind of think maybe he did get beat up by the one guy, and he was just the grandpa for Oz took place in a coma. But it would be wonderful if it didn't. But I don't know. It just seemed like the characters knew a bit more about their originals than they should have, you know.
Yes.
But it seems we were doing our live stream on Twister, and we got sucked away into another film. So hopefully people could tell that that was my arm, hand, arm, yeah, see, hand.
Monkey hand.
So hopefully they, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, so what was your, what did you think of their use of The Shining in the drive-through? I really thought it was kind of a weird choice for them to do. I really think it should have been The Wizard of Oz. For them to do The Shining when it had nothing to do with I mean, different seasons, different everything. I mean, I think people mostly love it because of the visual of it being like not the film itself, but I think they enjoy the visual of the drive-through projection thing or that screen being torn apart. But I really think it would have made more of an impact if the film on it would have been The Wizard of Oz. You know, what do you think?
I agree with you.
For a movie to really work, things have to connect, right?
Yes.
Like even in the newest film, uh, Hocus Pocus 2, even they at least had a couple of characters you never find out about watching a part of the original film on a TV. So they at least had the film they were showing be the original. So they at least connected it that way. So since they already had Dorothy as the thing of it, they should have at least done the had to be that film too. And then Dusty could have made the joke. Well, at least one Dorothy flew. But maybe they considered it that would have been a maybe they considered it to be a two that it would have been too much of a comedic moment for a serious film. Or do you think it was just that's the only one they could afford to get the rights to?
I think it's because that's the only one they could have got the rights to.
Uh, because it was so not connected to the film in any way. I mean, even Jack dressed differently than she did when she was a kid, so it didn't even seem to take place in the same area. You know, it just really felt kind of, you know, the because I don't know, because really, The Shining is about a city guy that goes into the outdoors and kind of goes insane. Bill's kind of the opposite. You know, he thrives in the around the wind and the dirt. He even was referenced by his competitor by saying the days of sniffing the dirt are over. So that means that, you know, he associated Bill with that. So Bill was best out by twisters and stuff. So it's just, yeah, no, it just seemed like real opposite sort of film to happen play on the projector when it's so parallel to the leading man being so opposite of the leading man on the screen. You know, one's going crazy and the other is finding himself. You know,
Yeah.
and while Jack is trying to hurt people, uh, Bill is trying to help save everybody. And I don't really think that when you see a tornado on the screen or a twister on the screen, that you're really going to be able to make that distinction, you know? Could
Yeah,
you
I
could you
agree.
understand? But
I said I agree.
what did you think of the use of the Shania Twain song? I actually think it was written for the film, but I actually liked it when they were in the diner and you heard that Shania Twain song.
I actually don't remember that
Oh,
scene.
mm, it's okay. Maybe you don't remember it uh, because Helen Hunt's big line in it is, if you gotta pee, you better do it now. um, that scene is actually mainly the other the other one in the woman that Bill is with currently. She actually does most of the dialogue in that scene. And actually, that scene is probably the one where she has the most dialogue, besides the one with her and Bill. I think her scenes with Bill, she has the most dialogue. With the other ones, really, she's kind of quiet and not really says too much.
Yeah.
So I think most of her scenes was with Bill. But remember, she also had some. I think her most interesting scenes. I mean, so it's like I think her the scenes where she's this love-struck professional psychiatrist, a combination of the two is well, she's kind of three. We see her as a therapist, we see her as a freaked out therapist, and we see her as someone that loves Bill. But I mean, we see her burst into tears and almost have a nervous breakdown when she thinks he died. Remember, that's the part where they see the truck fall, and it's her truck. So she thinks that he died. And then she's freaking out, and he has to go and comfort her.
Yes.
And so at least we can tell that she loved him. But I think it was interesting that she at least finally saw that she couldn't compete with it. And she literally said that she couldn't compete with that. But I don't know. Well, um, what did you think about the fact that we really don't see a lot of the mother? We see her in the beginning, but we don't really get a lot of information of her now. I have my theories, but what do you think?
I think that they could have drawn out that the beginning story
Hmm.
and shown where uh she grew up for uh a few years and then began the story of what we see after the storm.
Yeah, I actually have a theory about that, but the interesting thing is they the dog that we see and Meg has is her dog from when she was a kid. So I really think, Outers. Uh, so I really think that. So I have a theory on it, but uh, uh, um, but but um, you know what would have looked great from hanging in Meg's window when she was getting that when she was getting that uh the tornado warning, or even in the hotel room where where uh, uh, where Bill's fiance was staying. Do you know what would have looked great in their windows?
Yeah,
What?
I agree with you what you said about the windows.
Well, I was saying, do you know what would have looked great in their windows?
No, what would look great in their windows?
A dream catcher. Well, speaking of dream catchers, how about you tell these lovely folks where they could get one?
You can you can find my handmade dream catchers on my website at the Fairy Cove. The link to my shop is in my Instagram bio in my link tree.
And that way, folks, whenever you're watching your all the wind and the rain pick up, if you put that dream catcher in your window, you'll see it flailing around, and you can think of the movie Twister and how great it would have looked if Aunt Meg would have had it in her window. Or because remember, she was a creator, she created that thing in her yard that ended up being the sole item that made it for them to be able to get the idea to make them fly. So she was an artistic person, so it would have made sense. So, everybody, if you buy a dream catcher from the Fairy Cove, you will be you you'll you can think of Aunt Meg and her creativeness and the fact that maybe she had one, but it just blew away. Hmm? They get lots of wind there. Maybe she was like, since it blew away, I might as well make something in my yard to so that when people like so that she when she looks out her window she would have something that would something to look at, because she couldn't look out her window and see nothing. So if she because that creation was close to where her bedroom window was. So they could have been at least a possibility as to why she made it close to where her bedroom window was, so she could look out and see it. Probably because she didn't have a dream catcher. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would say.
But then, if the dream catcher had not flown away, that she probably had as being an artist herself. Heck, she probably made it herself in home ec classes for people her age. No offense. But if it had not flown away, because as you know, people at that age always makes art and crafts, and she probably did. So if it had not flown away, she probably would not have made that creation. So the odds of her having a dream catcher that flew off because of the wind, because she had it attached to the window, are probably really high. And that's probably why she made that thing, because she missed it. And she actually made something that was stuck in the ground because she probably was upset her dream catcher flew away.
We have
Hmm?
a viewer.
What?
We have one viewer watching.
Oh, welcome, viewer. You are viewing the Twister live stream.
Cole Walt says that he likes our stream.
Oh, Cole, how you doing? Just wanted to let you know the reason why I stopped coming to the stream was because remember how in the first few days I was going to your friend's new channel, Snugster? Well, what happened was I went in and he was talking to his friend, I forget what his name was, but he was talking to his friend and he was saying, I did not even bring it up. And he just goes into like, oh, you better not mess with him. You better not mess with him. He can, be he, he got, he got him to talk about how he would destroy my channel and that I better watch what I say around him. And and he just really, I said nothing wrong to the guy and he scared the daylights out of me. he made he had the guy tell me like he could destroy my channel, he could find out where I lived and all this mumbo jumbo. Scared the bejesus out of me, so I stopped coming around. I mean, I'm just saying, there I was, being supportive, going to his live streams in those first few days, and him and his friend really, really enjoyed freaking me out. As you know, I was always a faithful viewer. I always was. But he scared the bejesus out of me. And he and his friend really seemed to get a kick out of it. So I could have said something at any of your live streams, but I didn't want to start drama. I kept, I, that's why I ended up leaving, because then he joined. And I didn't want to start any drama. Your streams are not for drama. So I stayed away because I knew I would, you know, say something. So I honored the no drama of your streams, and I didn't whenever I would see him be there because he just scared me so much. I did nothing wrong. I never once said anything bad to him. Oh, did he leave?
I think he's still here, but he has not commented.
Oh, okay. I think it says 0 views or 0 people in there. Well, hope he understands. I I just did the right thing, you know. If someone scares you don't you agree the right thing to do is to just separate yourself from the drama and not say anything about it? I
I
mean,
agree.
to the person. Yeah. Okay. Can you say that again?
I agree.
Thank you. Um, it seems like the other guys treated people pretty good, but I just don't know why he had to pick on me. Oh no, I was always supportive. Always supportive. But hmm, is anyone commenting?
Now, I do not see any new comments yet.
Well, do you think I should have held my tongue and not say anything? Or, I mean, I didn't tell him after all until now. I kept the drama out of his channel, and isn't what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
I hope I didn't scare him away. I was just being honest. In a setting that he would have not, that drama would not have been soothed because, yeah. So, I guess honesty doesn't always get us popularity.
Now, honesty does not always work in our favor.
Well, folks, you saw me do the right thing. You saw that I I could have shared it with everybody in one of his live streams, but I did not. I kept the drama away, even though his live streams are very good. But it was not worth creating drama, and yeah, so I stayed away. But but um, so um, do you by chance remember what the trying to think. Kind of odd they would put a hotel or a motel right next to the theater because if you opened your door, you could probably hear the movie playing.
Yes, and with the motel next to the theater, those who were staying at the motel could actually watch from their room.
But we did not see her do that, did we?
No.
So everybody, we learned a valuable lesson. Uh, Melissa does not like the movie The Shining, or at least her character. Kind of interesting though, because she's a therapist. So kind of odd that she would not like the movie. But technically she was dealing with a lot of issues at the time. Realizing that she couldn't compete with her she couldn't compete with that lifestyle. Yeah, it really sucks. Because um I don't mean to scare people away, just I always thought I didn't think would ever get that chance to tell him, because he was always in his live streams, and then his friend would always join, and that friend was the one that caused that egged his friend on to explain about it and say all that stuff to me. It was, you know, so I just took the opportunity to tell him. I say what's in my heart. Well, kind of like what Helen Hunt's character does. Well, no. Bill did that when he was saying, when she was saying that it went from that. Why didn't go on? Why did the tornado or Twister not go from one house to another? Why did it pick her house? And he was like, you, um, things go wrong. You need to. Oh, damn it! Sorry. I can't think of his speech. I used to always say that speech all the time. I love that speech. It was so good. I love the movie to death, but I always quoted that. I can't remember the whole speech. Don't get me wrong, everybody. I've watched the films more times than you probably poop in a single day. But I just forget the speech. There's just so much good in the entire film. But yeah. And yes, I remember most of it, but if I don't remember all of the speech, I won't say it. So that's why I stopped when I realized I didn't remember all of it. Everyone knows that when you watch someone try to sing along to a song that they don't know all the words to, it doesn't go well. But hmm. Well, um, um, well, I am going to go for a minute, so I will entrust the Fairy King with telling you all what other magical creations he does in his shop. While I while I go and smell some dirt, because for me the days of going and smelling the dirt are not over.
Is he still there? Let us wait patiently for him. I will say that I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Me and the monkey are trying very hard to make his channel popular. He works so hard at creating videos every single day of the week. And even though he does not get a lot of views, he still pushes himself to create. Welcome back.
Thank you. The tones of Dusty's bus drew me back. Because it is the suck zone. Where the point where the Twister sucks you up. So what do you think about the character Dusty? He was actually my favorite. Well, that's tough. He was one of my three favorites, but I thought he was the most humorous. Well, second humorous, but I thought he was pretty good. Actually, one of the best. One of the best. I thought, as far as comedy, he was the best funny part of the entire film. I mean, when Bill tells him what to do, he kind of does this marionette dance. And there was this interview or documentary, something that I watched, where it turns out that was ad-libbed, that he was just supposed to give him like a look, but he just came up with that marionette dance. They're just that actor, Philip Seymour Hoffman, was just such a talented actor. I loved him as Dusty. I did. What did you think of the music videos he kept tapping in this van?
I actually thought he was
Oh,
funny.
it
Hyper
says we
was.
got a. Oh, okay. Did I miss somebody? Because it said I had a guest, and when I looked, there wasn't anybody else there. Maybe the Twister wanted to get on. But then he was like, wait, I'm needed in Ohio. So he was like, oh, well. But just think, it kind of fits because he's a big bunch of hot air. Haha. But so like I was saying, what did you think of the music videos in Dusty's Van?
I think they could have chosen better music.
But I did like he actually knew the lyrics.
Yes.
But you're right, they could have chose somebody else. Heck, they could have even been watching the Wizard of Oz. But then again, Dusty was never that type. He probably would have been watching Half Baked. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. He acted like that, but we never saw him high. So I don't know. I mean, we never saw him on anything. So what do you think? Do you think his character was that way, or do you think it was just his personality?
I think it was just his personality, but yeah, I thought he was a bit too hyper.
Oh, I liked it because there's a fine line between Dusty and the Bill and Ted. And I think Dusty pulled that kind of thing off better than Bill and Ted did. Because they just seemed like stoners. But did you know that in reality, the way the characters were wrote, they actually had a mental disability? They were actually on the spectrum. I think that's what it was that they said. Yeah, that they were on the spectrum, and that's why they were that way. Because it's like, remember, there was a part where Dr. Freud asked, not Bill, but no, he asked the blonde one. He asked, "Do you want to get on the couch?" And he said, "No, I just have a summons on the complex." He was smart. I think he just liked being around his friend because he got to be kind of stupid. But he was kind of the smartest one of the bunch, you know.
Yeah,
I I mean, he won the fight. He won the sword fight. He knew what Freud wanted to talk about, and he gave him the answer. Freud. He gave Freud an answer that got Freud to be quiet. You know, it doesn't just take anybody of intelligence to do that. So he had to have been smart. But and think about it. He not the blonde one was the one that gave really good advice of I don't know, I don't know. And the other one was the one that kind of I think it was Bill that gave the saying "party on, dudes," right? Keanu Reeves' character, wasn't he the one that said "party on, dudes"?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this dream is definitely like a twister. Think about it. We've had ups and downs of emotional truth. They had that in Twister. We had going from one topic to another, to another, to another, kind of like a Twister. We had me leave the stream and then come back, kind of like Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's characters in the movie, because they were actually a couple the last time they were over at Meg's. So I think she had a picture of them together on her nightstand. Don't you remember?
Yeah,
So I think so far, I think this stream would have made Bill Paxton's character proud, or at least Helen Hunt's character, or maybe the girl in the flannel, or the guy that folded the maps when he was supposed to roll the maps. The guy even told him, "Don't fold the maps, roll the maps." And the one says, "No, I didn't." And then he said, "Well, there's a big old crease through Utah." So, just maybe he did, or Dusty, or yeah, I think Philip Seymour Hoffman would have been proud. I don't know. Maybe the girl in flannel. Yeah. I would have liked a little bit more backstory on all of them.
yes,
That's why a sequel, I think, could have been really good. It could have been Bill needing to get out, you know, stuck up in that, stuck up, stuck in that lab or whatever, or just maybe he retired from being from being the weatherman, or running the lab, or all that, or maybe after the research was bought and that got happened, maybe he just got tired of the whole thing and went rogue. And I don't know. Mm. So remember we talked, you said there was no gore.
Yes.
You forget the massacre of Meg's cows.
Hmm.
Um, hey, did you see my cows up front? No. Oh? Well, so, um, I really like the score. How about you?
Yes, I like the score too.
I wonder how many people went out and bought the score versus people that bought the movie, or how many people that went out of the theater and bought the score because they loved the movie. Or who knows, maybe they even stayed in the theater just to listen to the score. Who knows, maybe someone even thought they could just stay till the score ended and they wouldn't have to buy the soundtrack. What do you think?
I agree with you.
What about you? If you loved the movie or the soundtrack so much, but you didn't want to go out and buy the soundtrack, um, would you keep going to see the same movie just to listen to the soundtrack in the high def sound of the theater? Mm. So, well, I think, I don't know, I don't think too many people are going to go see the new one, do you? The sequel. I think, what do you think the odds are that they'll just go to a streaming device like HBO Max? Like, I really think, even though it's right now they're saying they'll get a theatrical release, I think it'll probably just later on it'll go to a streaming service or Hulu. What do you think? Are you there, Fairy King? Or did the Twister blow you away?
No, I am here.
Um, would be surprised that the movie blew you away because it is such a great film. Ha!
True.
But I really think, I don't know, I just, that film really needs a 4K release. It does, but I also think it needs a 3D Blu-ray release. If any film can get people to buy 3D Blu-rays again, it will be that film. So they could do the 3D Blu-ray release, the normal Blu-ray release again, with maybe new interviews with Helen Hunt and any of the remaining cast. There has to be at least one interview that Bill did. Heck, they could include every single interview that Bill did. Yeah, so the special features that I want on the 4K release are all of the interviews done with Bill Paxton, every single one of them done, that every single one on as a special feature that we can watch, that his interviews when he was interviewed for this film. They should include all of those, and they should include the music video that's featured in the movie in Dusty's Van. I'd say a new audio commentary with Helen Hunt, and where she could share memories of Bill and her on-screen, like what happened on the set and all that, and during the scenes, like audio commentary track, a new one with her and the cast members. I really think that would be good. Well, with the remaining cast members. Like, even the movie Can't Hardly Wait did a 10-year one where they did another audio commentary track, I think. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it came with two tracks. One that was done, one and then one that was done later, like 10 years, I think. But yeah, and I think if they have any deleted scenes, they should do that too. They should include the deleted scenes on there also. And maybe a new audio commentary track with just the composer and even an isolated film score. That would be awesome. Yeah. Maybe even a steelbook, but I don't know. The artwork has been used a lot. I don't think I think actually a Twister would be too shiny for steel. What do you think? Don't you think a Twister engraved on a steelbook would just be too shiny, even for a collection? It would just
Perfect.
what?
I think it would be perfect.
Oh, then maybe they should go with the original cover art for the because there's actually a different poster that they did not go with that they could have used, but I think they used it for a different country. Yeah, so and it looked really good. They have a couple of choices. They have a poster where it's just the words Twister in the either in it or by it or something like that. Really good, really good. I would say they go with that because the other one's just been done on all the cases. Probably people have gotten tired of looking at it. Probably. Well, you've seen the movie. What would you want to be either on the front of the steelbook or on the back?
I think I would like to be on the front.
What to be on the front?
I think I would like to be on the front of the steelbook.
But you were not in the movie.
Let me correct that. I think I would like to see them on the front.
Okay. I was almost thinking, oh my god, a exclusive. The Fairy King wasn't Twister. Dun dun dun. Well, um, so what you know how some of the steelbook cases have a saying on the back from the film?
Yes.
I think this saying they should put embossed on the back or just put on there is a we got cows.
Hmm.
Yeah, they definitely cannot put the one about the bathroom on there, but yeah, that cows one would be perfect. And they could even have like in the background her image when she's talking about it could be her on her cell phone, you know,
Yeah.
and then with the embossed lettering of in just gray of we got cows. So yeah, that would be good. That's what I really feel they should do for it. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh. And yeah. So how often? Well, wait. We'll wait. So here's an interesting question. You don't have to say where you live, but when was the last time? Like I said, you do not have to say where you live, but you can at least say when was the last time a twister hit down in your state.
It would have been when I was, I want to say 10 years old.
Did you actually see the twister?
No, but I was in the midst of it. Me and my family were out in my dad's shop when it touched down.
Hmm. So you heard it here first. First, folks, he actually was in the midst of one. I don't suppose you saw Helen Hunt nearby.
No,
Or maybe Dusty being like, I don't know. But
no,
that probably
it actually touched
what
down,
uh,
but instead of coming straight through the shop, it it somewhat hopped over instead of instead of coming straight through.
well, you heard it, folks. He witnessed a bunny twister. Leave it to the fairy king to witness a bunny twister. Um, hmm, well, what was the destruction rate of that twister? Did it destroy a lot?
Yes, it tore up our barn. It it flung trash everywhere. It picked up and destroyed our trampoline.
Maybe it just wanted to get higher.
Maybe.
Altitude. We're not getting enough altitude. You know, Twister was actually the first film to actually feature sharks in a tornado. Because remember, there's that part where they're over the water and you see sharks and the twister. Do you remember?
No, I do not. I have never noticed
Oh,
that.
well, um, yeah, it wasn't really talked about, but you would have had to really spot it. But so um um did your family and you being in the midst of it, did it stop your family from being interested in watching it in the future? Like, did that event, being in the actual event, make them not want to watch it as much after being in it?
We didn't actually we had cable, but we never actually had any DVDs until, I want to say, until I was 13 years old.
So, folks, if you ever want to cast somebody for an extra in the movie that they're filming right now, maybe have him near a maybe in the by the drive-in theater, since they'll probably feature one. Maybe hire him for an extra. So everybody that watches this, maybe hire the Fairy King to be in the movie. Since, yeah. Um, what can I say? If they make a Jumanji Enter the Jungle #3, I'd probably be the next best guess. Like the best pick, probably as like if there was a glitch in the game and they got a younger version, I'd probably be the next best pick. Or who knows, maybe I'd be the CGI monkey, guiding guiding them through each level of the game, saying, "You've made it to the next level." Hmm. Well, um,
But we have been on for 1 hour and 13 minutes already. I think it would be best to go ahead and say goodnight to everyone.
well, I technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties. But this seems to be a different opinion. Um,